In America are not settled with the information that's been given to us right now. So I'm not going to be lining up taking a shot on a vaccination for something that wasn't clear in the first place. And then you all create a shot in miraculous time. It takes years to create vaccination.
Well, it used to take years.
Okay, it used to.
You know how many years were invested in this approach? About 20 years of science to get us to be able to do it.
20 years is not enough. And 9 months is definitely not enough for nobody to be taking no vaccination that you all came up with.
The only reason I'm talking to you right now, as close as we are, is that I've been vaccinated.
Right.
But if it allows thousands of people like you don't get vaccinated, you're going to let this virus continue to percolate in this country and in this world.
Something like the common flu then, right?
And not
it's
like
much
the
more
common
serious than the flu.
Well, the flu kills a lot of people annually, too.
You know how many people died of the flu the last year? I mean, not this year, virtually none, but the previous year, about 20 to 30,000. You know how many people have died from COVID-19 in the United States? 600,000 Americans.
Well, the number that you all giving that died, that's once again, that's you all's number.
You gonna pass?
Yeah, definitely. Because when you start talking about paying people to get vaccinated, when you start talking about incentivizing things to get people vaccinated, there's something else going on with that. Something else going on.
It is something going on with
something else.
You're right. But I'm glad millions of people like me and most everybody here didn't get an incentive. You know what their incentive was? Protecting their health and protecting the city. But I won't keep you anymore.
It's okay, because my incentive, y'all campaign is about fear. It's about inciting fear in people. You all attack people with fear. That's what this pandemic is. It's a fear. It's fear, this pandemic. That's all it is.
You know, there's a basketball player named Kyrie Irving. You know, Kyrie Irving, he refused to get vaccinated. But because he played for the team in Brooklyn, because the vaccine mandate that I passed, he was not allowed to play. So it became this huge national issue about why Kyrie Irving wasn't allowed to play basketball because he was refusing to get vaccinated. Like, this is a fun part of my life. So I got to be on, so the Wall Street Journal wrote a whole story about me being the one that blocked Kyrie Irving from playing basketball.
I was not expecting, you know, a mandate to be brought down in a way that it wasn't going to allow me to play at all.
I just think he's passive. He's an ass because he's like trying to like I'm not in a position to tell him how to dribble better or how to shoot better. Like, I can be a fan and I can say, oh, we should, but I'm not going to be like, I can't go coach him. Why is he turning around and saying that, like, I'm not going to tell him he doesn't know how to dribble and that he knows how to do it. Don't tell me, like, how the science works.
There was no plan in place. There was no vision of, like, how it's going to work for our team. And I think that really impacted not just me, but a lot of people. So, you know, just had to sit in that hot seat for a little bit and deal with it, man. Life of a martyr, bro.
If only Kyrie Irving was having underground sex parties as opposed to trying to make a living through his elected profession. But the same, by the way, can be said of trade workers, business owners, employees all across New York, and, by the way, the country. Again, for you, the COVID policies were devastating.
Hey, D, you made the wrong decision, bro. And here's why. Because you trusted Kyrie. Kyrie Irving betrayed you. Flat out betrayed you. Left you hanging. And while you sitting up there getting your ass kicked last night, all right? Steph Curry sitting there shimmying and joking around, laughing on the court. They were cheering for Steph Curry in Brooklyn. From open and tap, they were chanting MVP in the Barclays Center, and it wasn't for the dude averaging 28.9 points a game for the Brooklyn Nets. It was for Steph Curry. And then you juxtapose Steph Curry compared to Kyrie Irving, and what do you have? You got Kyrie Irving, who is a showstopper. Kyrie Irving, who is a superstar talent. He is box office and can't be trusted. I actually hope Kyrie Irving gets cut. I mean, this is a disgrace. Hey, D, you made the wrong decision, bro. And here's why. Because you trusted Kyrie. Kyrie Irving betrayed you.
Meanwhile, I'm just sorry. It wasn't intentional. It was what I believed. And I didn't even believe there wasn't stuff that was suspicious about the vaccine. I always vibed with Kyrie Irving about that.
You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. the no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys, I know that was a very, very long intro, but I wanted you guys to remember what the government did to you during the pandemic. They were telling people you can't go to work unless you get the jab. People from the military were wrongly discharged from the military because they refused to get the jab. People were fired from their jobs because they didn't want to get the jab. Dr. Fauci, guys, did immense damage to this country and Democrats. Completely insane, guys. Now, Kyrie Irving said, nah, I'm not going to get the jab. And he was actually able to play on road games, but he couldn't play in home games in Brooklyn because New York City, they just said, if you don't get the jab, you can't go to work. Even if you were a basketball player, you can't go to work. This was big time government overreach, folks. Big time. Now, Stephen A. Smith of ESPN, he was very, very hard on Kyrie Irving. Now, Stephen A. is like 5 years too late because Dr. Fauci, guys, looked like a fool in front of Congress the other day. Joe Biden gave him a pardon, and he was still subpoenaed to actually go before the Senate, and he actually pled the Fifth Amendment on everything. Folks, I'm not even lying. He pled the Fifth on like the color of the sky. Yeah, one senator asked him something along the lines of like the color of the sky. He still pled the Fifth. Fauci should be in prison. He really should. And now Stephen A. Smith is actually coming out and apologizing to Kyrie Irving and pretty much Aaron Rodgers too. Remember, Aaron Rodgers, he didn't get the jab either. He said he was immunized. And then the media crushed him when he said, yeah, I didn't get the jab. Unreal. Let's go ahead and dive into this reaction, guys, from Stephen A. Smith. Let's roll it. So right here, this Stephen A. Smith, let's listen in.
One size never fit all with this virus during this pandemic. But yet there were many people encouraging folks to do it anyway. Kyrie Irving wasn't one of them. In my opinion, particularly hindsight-wise, it didn't make him stubborn or selfish. It made him brave for his willingness to stand up and say, nah, I'm not doing that. It's just a time for reflection to look at things differently. And with Kyrie Irving, that should certainly be the case. Especially now, after what we witnessed on Capitol Hill yesterday. And when I see anything about the Rona, as they say, the coronavirus pandemic, and I see anybody testifying, and every time I see further suspicions coming to light about what it entails, I think about him. I'm just sorry. It wasn't intentional. It was what I believed. And I didn't even believe there wasn't stuff that was suspicious about the vaccine. I always vibed with Kyrie Irving about that.
Now, if you guys remember, Sage Steele. Remember, guys, she was actually on a live stream and she actually got the jab. She didn't want to get it, but ESPN required her to actually get the jab or she wouldn't actually have a job. That's the only reason why she actually got it, folks. And I believe that's another reason why some other people actually did it too. Hey, you need a job, you need a job. I understand that. I really do. But even for companies, to force the employees to actually get the jab because the government said, take the jab, even if it's actually against your will, insane.
I just felt that in the end, I was a leader at ESPN. He was a leader for his NBA team. And to get stuff flowing towards normalcy and recapturing our quality of life in this world and in this country, that it was worth taking a chance. And every time I see additional information oozing out of Capitol Hill or anywhere else, adding credence to the suspicions that took place, I think about him. I think about the Aaron Rodgers too, who's a good dude. His personality might not be everybody's taste, but he's a good man and a future Hall of Famer and one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks in history, who has always deserved better than how he's been treated. So I think about him too. But again, no one more than I think about Kyrie Irving. Sometimes it's not about intent. It's about the impact of one's actions. And when I think back to how I felt about how selfish I thought his inaction was when it came to the pandemic and the vaccines and the boosters and all of that stuff, and then you learn more about the harm that it has done to the human body, and you're reading about Fauci and the diary and how he had chest pains and they thought it was some form of cancer. And then,
yeah, you guys probably didn't know about that. Fauci apparently, he got the jab and then he started having some heart issues. Yeah, that wasn't made public, but then it came out. Fauci probably got vaccine injured, folks. Yeah.
It was some pulmonary infarction, ultimately. You recognize the fact that these vaccines have harmed some people. It ain't for everybody. And you think about how we were told it's for everybody. And one of the few people that stood up publicly and was like, nah, was Kyrie Irving. That's our fault. It turns out that no matter what the truth is behind all of this, Kyrie Irving did nobody wrong. We did him wrong. I did him wrong. And for that, I'm sincerely sorry. I just thought it was important to say that. And all of those people in the sports world. You deal with the preponderance of evidence that's presented to you and you come up with a perspective. It certainly doesn't mean you're always right. And I'll be damned if I'm always right. This is the latest evidence pointing to that. Doesn't mean that Dr. Fauci was totally wrong just because he pleaded the fifth 111 times. It means there's grounds for suspicion. And that suspicion alone justifies the skepticism, the cynicism, and the doubt that came along with the Kyrie Irvings, the Aaron Rodgers, the Novak Djokovic's of the world.
I almost forgot about Djokovic. Remember, he didn't play in the Australian Open. Djokovic wasn't allowed to play in the Australian Open because he didn't get the jab. Think about that. He's the greatest player at the Australian Open ever. And he was not allowed to play because he didn't take the jab.
They weren't as wrong as we thought they were. At the very least, we can say that. And that alone warrants a sincere apology to all of them. In my case, especially Kyrie Irving. That's all I wanted to say. Other than, just means I need to do better. I'm not alone.
Yeah, so you guys heard that right there. Stephen A. primarily apologizing to Kyrie Irving, but also Aaron Rodgers and a great Novak Djokovic. Unbelievable, man. Absolutely unbelievable. Now, in the case of Djokovic, man, he already has the most Grand Slam titles ever. He probably could have had another at the Australian Open. We don't know. Rafa Nadal actually won. And of course, Rafa Nadal is an all-time great tennis player, too. He got 22 Grand Slams. Okay? But it's really insane, guys, what the authorities did to everyday people, man, including athletes, saying, nah, you can't play. You didn't get the jab. This is insane. And wasn't Kyrie Irving actually sitting in the stands, if I'm not mistaken? But he wasn't on the court? So I could be wrong about that, but that's really stupid. He can sit in the stands in Barclays Center, but he couldn't play because he didn't get the jab. But if the team was actually on the road the day before, he could actually play, quote unquote, spreading the virus everywhere. It made no sense, folks. Made no sense. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we will catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.